we're in a weird position in Jiu-Jitsu now where people make their livings off of being different. So I've always kind of cultivated my own thing.
Yeah, we gotta talk about Keenan.
Keenan has done a lot for the sport.
Keenan is gunning for his first world title.
I think he deserves to be a world champion.
Culture. There it is, gets the submission finish.
I think everyone should like try and go train at as many gyms as possible.
They never expect that Keenan would come here, and everybody was like, yes, 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 yes.
Who do we see as a legitimate, challenge to Keenan? I'll be honest, like, I'm gonna put it out there right now. I see Keenan in the final. Even with all the stuff that's gone on with his team, even everything that's gone on with him having to, rustle up this training by bouncing around gym to gym, going full RONIN. I think this could be if Keenan does it. I think we could see Keenan win his first IBJJF World Championship gold medal.
Keenan is definitely capable of winning a world championship.
Levanta, japonês, levanta! For me, it's Atos is the best, and that's what I think. Always, since day one. What? And I think the team had like such a great talent, So we always had like a lot of great competitors. We have Keenan Cornelius at 99 kilos, Mr. Wormguard. He loves to play lapel, very technical, very smart, very intelligent as a fighter.
I've been here for the last 6 years, and me and Andre have been like each other's main training partners for almost everything. Like I remember like most of the ADCC camps, like me and Andre, sometimes it would just be me and him at night coming in and just doing like 40 minutes straight. So we've had sort of like a symbiotic training, teaching relationship where I've learned a lot from him, and I feel like I brought in a lot of like lapel guard influence to this academy, and like if you look probably behind me, there's people playing it already. One thing that Andre does that's so much better than I do is he really is like super strict to a schedule. It's like all about schedule, routine, and ritual. Like he's just like, by the book, you do this, this, this every single day, and if you follow those steps, you'll become a champion. And that's his ideology. And I'm like a lot more like free-flowing, like just train how you want, man. But I think having those two sides is really good and important, and it obviously works because we have such great results coming out of this gym. So.
All right, Atos on 3. 1, 2, 3, Atos!
Do you see there is big news in Jiu-Jitsu? Do you see who got booted out of his school? Keenan Cornelius got kicked out of Atos, or he was asked to leave.
Shut the front door.
He was asked to leave by Andre Galvao.
Is there any story behind that?
I didn't find any explanation as to why Keenan asked to leave Atos.
You got some big news before the rest of us did. So Keenan got kicked out of Atos. There's no other way to dress it up. I mean, that's what happened. That's bold. He was asked to leave.
Cornelius gave the shortest exclusive ever to FloGrappling, saying there are many facets to this split. I was asked to leave. Where do you think he would go next?
Is it possible to speculate? Well, why does this happen sometimes? Is it an ego thing when two guys just maybe don't see eye to eye? Or what is it, do you think, that this happens in Jiu-Jitsu?
I wouldn't say that people are kicked out of Jiu-Jitsu gyms or Jiu-Jitsu teams that often. So when it does happen, it's pretty significant, and people really want to find out the reasons why. People leave teams all the time to go their own way. They break out and they decide to start their own thing because it's good for them and their brand, or maybe it's just a financial decision. But for Keenan to be asked to leave, that's not a very common occurrence in Jiu-Jitsu.
I've kind of been forced into the situation. I would like to have a place where I can settle into and train, like just train consistently. In a way, I was kind of hanging around maybe too long. Like maybe it was time for me to do my own thing a long time ago. I think it's a positive split as well because it lets me even like further pursue my own goals and stuff.
No, I think he would go over to Renzo's. It would actually probably be the best thing for him to work with someone like John Danaher,
This is only a couple of weeks out from the Worlds, from one of the biggest tournaments of the entire year, and suddenly Keenan is left on his own, no gym to train at, no black belts to train with. What's he gonna do?
Do you? Me? Yeah. That's good for lightweights.
All right, guys, let's get started, guys. It's too late. Get a partner, take that win. Let's go. Let's go, come on. Let's go, get a partner. Friday, best day of the week for me. Big grip. Don't accept the guy pulling you in a good position. I spoke to Keenan right before anything was announced, you know, like that he was like leaving Atos. I told him, I said, I don't think there's a problem that you come here and then train. Keenan came here before, and then it was really cool, you know, like Keenan, definitely people was like, I think because they never expect that Keenan would come here, and then they was talking, and they keep asking me, hey, Professor, is Keenan's gonna come back here anytime, you know? 6-7 minute rounds, okay? If you're gonna compete in the world, 6-7 minute rounds. All right, guys, so let's go. Get your opponent, and if I don't like, I'll change. Okay? Let's go! Keenan has done a lot for the sport. And then if I can do like something, like bring some train for him, you know, like so he can train a little bit, and then I don't think there's nothing wrong there, you know, like I'm just like, I'm a support of the sport, you know, even though that I represent Gracie Barra since day one, but there's nothing wrong to help somebody that it's not with the team right now, even that he's come from one of the biggest rivals from Atos. Yeah, he bring good vibes, you know, like it was amazing training. He's very different style. I like a lot to train with him, you know, like have a really hard time to train with him, but it make me grow, make me learn more, make me improve, you know.
Can I ask you
Absolutely.
how training's going so far?
Training's great. It's probably the most concentrated talent in the U.S. next to where I was before. Between here and Solos in San Diego, it's pretty high level training, man. Hamelo's an awesome teacher too. I've learned a lot already just watching his classes. But training's going good. Me and Hamelo were talking a little bit about how, like, I told him I'm feeling like kind of mentally tired. Like I'm waking up every day to go train all these new places, and he's like, man, it's kind of like you're competing. It's been like really hard training, you know, wherever I go, it always feels like it's a new body, a game I don't really recognize. And I'm kind of playing A game a lot because it's getting ready for Worlds, so I want to like improve my A game. But now I'm feeling like I'm just like so tired already, man. Ever since I left Atos, like the day I left, I booked my ticket to New York the next day, and since then I haven't missed a day of training. I would say Hamelo's gym and Solo's like has the two highest skill levels for me. Like I feel like I can be challenged the most of those two gyms. So consequently, they're both the most like accepting, and like just like Hamelo is super chill. He's like got a really interesting vibe with his students. It's more like a friendship vibe, it seems like he's just cool with everyone, and it's not like doesn't keep him to a super strict schedule. And I've been trying to find like I've been reading a lot of books on like mental toughness and like different coaching strategies because I want to get into like a coaching role eventually. And so like little things like that I notice and I pick up on, and I want to incorporate into my eventual team.
You have the one, no? Which one? 35?
But yeah, like I think everyone should do this, honestly. I think everyone should like try and go train at as many gyms as possible. So I would encourage people, like, don't stand for like gyms that are say you can't go train somewhere else. I think that's a really toxic mentality that only benefits the instructors or the owners of the gym. It's like up to the community to just become aware of that, and we should all just be as open-minded as possible, and don't be afraid. Like there's no reason to have that fear or insecurity of training with someone that you might compete against. Like it's literally the same. Like you're like training here, we're training there, just roll, man. It doesn't really matter. Now it's like I want to keep doing this. Like I want to keep training at other places. I would like to just do this all the time, you know? I drove 3.5 hours up here from San Diego yesterday morning. I woke up at 6 and drove up here to make their morning class. I'd do it again. I'm going to do it next week. You know, I'm going to come back because it's worth it. And the experiences are really, really, really valuable.
What's up, grappling fans? Welcome to the 2019 IBJJF World Championship here in Long Beach, California.
Here on deck, we're going to see Keenan Cornelius and Arnaldo Maidana, which should be pretty awesome.
As you said, we're starting out with Keenan Cornelius, which he has had a bit of a rocky road on his way to this Worlds, famously leaving Atos just about a month ago, it seems.
Yes.
Very, very recently, and now been training over with the guys at Gracie Baja in Northridge, but is competing under the BJJ Globetrotters, I believe, just for this event at least. And yeah, we'll see how that has affected his training for the Worlds.
That inversion is a nice way for him to set up. He does come back around. You'll see that he'll have it. Now there's going to lapel plata instead.
Now is he going to use this to throw that left leg over and try matrix style back take? It looks like he's just going for the waiter sweep.
Yep.
Gets underneath and makes it work.
Yeah, it's like an X-guard sweep but with the lapel.
Nice back take attempt. Moves over more into crucifix now. Takes top position. Has the one leg caught in the half guard. Tries to spin underneath to preempt that back roll. Gets under Maidana for a second, but ends up past the guard, so he's going to get points for that. Now knee on belly. And this is so hard to recover from if you're the guy on bottom.
Yep, it's such a good angle. You give your back, your arm, or the mount. Once you're around and above that knee, you're in trouble.
And there we have it. Keenan on the back. Does not even, I think he got the points, but now is just putting the squeeze on, going for the choke. Maidana in a lot of trouble, forced to tap.
Got it, so he looked good.
That looked, yeah, that's, I mean, if there were many questions about what type of shape Keenan would be in coming into this tournament, then here's your answer.
Yep, and I believe we have Nicholas Meregali on deck next, and that's who Keenan will face as long as Meregali moves through. Meregali is arguably one of the favorites of the entire tournament. Here's Meregali and Tanner Rice.
Oh man, this is a good matchup. Tanner in the white gi, Meregali in the blue gi. Meregali, one of the people that probably most anticipated to watch fight here at the Worlds. Very intense. One of the best competitors in the world, now in this open weight division. Meregali underneath the leg of Tanner. Throws Tanner's legs to the side, now in a leg drag position. He's gonna make this pass stick. Tanner's got his hands full already. Tanner nearly getting his guard back for a moment, but Meregali just forcing right back into side control.
Triangle.
Yeah, that step over triangle. Tanner's gonna get out, but it's going on the arm and forces Tanner to tap. Meregali is going to take the submission victory over Tanner Rice, advancing in this open class division. So that sets up Meregali versus Keenan.
Yeah, it's a good year. It's a good year.
Man, I am really excited about this one.
This is going to be fantastic. I would say that each guy wants to get to their guard relatively quickly. That's what I would say would have a slight advantage here.
Meregali, the more explosive, faster athlete, and immediately stands up off of the guard pole. He's going to get the advantage from it. Keenan, I can't tell if he has his grip already. If he has his grip, then that makes things significantly tougher for Meregali. Meregali looking to dive underneath before the grip's made, has 4 fingers in the collar, looking to take the back. Keenan loses that grip, and this spells disaster for Keenan. Keenan trying to defend the back take, looking to come up on top. Meregali all over the back of Keenan, though.
Keenan has a right hand on the bottom leg, well, he had one, and that can make a big difference. That's where you saw him try to get over the body, but he's lost that ability now, I believe. Yep, he's gonna have to get his shoulders to face the mat here.
Keenan just looks to be a little bit overwhelmed by the tenacity of Meregali. I'm sure he was ready for the pace this early on. Keenan a little bit of a slow starter himself. Meregali just all over him right away. Now ending up in a guard position, has a lapel grip, but Meregali violently trying to posture up and break that grip right away.
And it's a good idea because that's the way Keenan will win this, is tie him up. Now, but Meregali, when you're ripping lapels out, ripping grips away, diving and throwing someone around, it can be an exhausting endeavor.
And that's something that's really interesting for the longevity of this tournament too, because this is the open class, so they all have to do their weight class as well.
Yep.
And they have to progress in the open class too.
Yes.
And there's going to be fights tomorrow, so.
And there you can see Keenan puts 2 on the board, which is huge. So you see Meregali, I'm assuming, got a little tired of ripping all those grips away, Keenan can still be 2 points ahead.
And going for this loop choke, and Meregali is very good with these. Somehow Keenan escapes. That's going to reset the position. Meregali just jumps to bottom again now.
That was on for
going again. This one's on as well. Keenan having to swivel out.
That's right. Good defense by Keenan because that's on.
Yeah, very good defense.
Yeah.
It might still be on. He has the cross collar. His legs are up over the neck. No, he has lost the collar. Looking for that toe hold. He knows he needs more than just points to win this one. Not enough time. 15 seconds left. Keenan just looking over at the clock. 10 seconds left to go. It's not looking good for Meregali.
Nope.
Keenan up 2 points to 0. Meregali trying to find a submission, but it's just not going to be enough. Keenan Cornelius is going to take this one 2-0 on points. And the crowd is going crazy.
They are. That is a very big win for Keenan, in my opinion, with a guy coming in Meregali that has a lot of momentum.
Yeah, Meregali, one of the favorites
yes.
this entire tournament.
Yes.
And that's not something you typically see at the Worlds.
Wow. Yeah, man, crazy match. Congrats, bro. Congrats.
It's good to know he slows down at some point. Jesus.
Let's go, kid. Let's go. Good shit. Great fight.
That's a World Championship fight. Hey, that's a World Championship fight.
Let's go. Good shit. Let's go.
Going into this competition, like, everyone knew there's like 3 main guys. It was Leandro, Buchecha, Meregali in the open, and like, sometimes I'm kind of a fan favorite, but I don't think people count me in as like one of the heavy hitters to win absolute or anything. But I'm always game, and like, I've trained with everyone, I've fought everyone, and I knew Meregali was coming into that match very confident because this has been hyped up for a while. And he's got incredible pace, especially in the beginning of the match, and I was aware that would happen. Like, I was understood that like he was gonna blitz me in the beginning while I didn't have lapel grips. So I knew if I could just survive that blitz and not get scored on, I was gonna be good for the rest of the match. So it got closer than I thought when he took my back, like he had a seatbelt. And I just used my back defense system that I work on. And it's gotten me out of some really tough situations in competition and in training, and that system, like, super effective. But I was able to defend the hooks, defend the choke at the same time, eventually recover to bottom where I was able to get into the lapel game, and he was avoiding it very well, avoiding the strong positions very well, posturing out of a lot of stuff. He's very, very strong and tall too. So he's creating a lot of distance, but I was able to use the intermediary guard positions to retain. And once I started catching up a little and getting closer and closer to my actual sweeping positions, he kind of was like, I don't want to deal with this anymore. His attack started slowing down, his threatening sweeps. So then I used another technique. It's like a De La Hiva killer with the lapel, where you bring it under the leg. It's very safe, but it does leave you open to the triangle, which he did put me in for a second. But I have a good triangle defense too. So I was able to defend the triangle safely, and I just knew at that point, like, all I have to do is not get scored on. So I'm like thinking this during the match, like, okay, all I have to do is not get scored on. He's slowing down a little bit. I've got nothing left, but he's slowing down. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna get to like a really safe position that I know, and my friend Andres Bernovsky's taught me, which is like double unders with both lapels. So everything in that match involved the lapel, if you saw, top, bottom, everywhere. But I got to this position that's very, very strong for passing, but it's even stronger to not get swept. But you have to just defend the chokes that come at you, because like they can't really sweep you, but they can attack your neck because their hands are tied. So he hit me with 2 loop chokes. And just like while I'm defending these moves, I'm like, okay, at the end of each scramble, I have to be on top at the end. Like I have to end up on top. That's the goal here. So while he was more focused on getting the finish, I was focusing on just making sure I ended on top. That's his style. He's a killer, man. He goes out there to kill everyone. So he was going for the kill, and I was kind of like trying to be more strategic because I was aware that like I didn't have a lot left to push to actually get position. And then towards the end of the match, I just stayed there and I got my control position, and I just was able to ride it out, and he wasn't able to sweep me. I'm impressed with myself for like thinking the match out through like this, because like normally I just fight, but this time like I really try to be strategic because I know he's very, very tough. And that was a big victory for me. I'm going to count that one, even though it was very strategic. That's kind of how it has to be in the IBJJF point system. You're not always rewarded for like being aggressive and like going for the kill and submissions. A lot of times there's like loopholes, like what I kind of exploited here. So I think that was really good to prove to myself I can play that game a little better, and I'm going to try and incorporate that against Leandro, but that was a tough match. That took a lot out of me. I hope Leandro has a tough match too, because that'll be an even tougher one, I'm sure.
The way it played out, I think, defied all belief, all expectations. Keenan just gritted through it, powered through that match, survived after getting those points, just defended everything that Meregali threw at him, and came out the winner. So I think that was a pretty monumental match right there. But I mean, the absolute division, though, it's the absolute division, right? And these things, they have a tendency to play out in unexpected ways, and that put Keenan on a crash course with Leandro in the next match.
So we'll go to mat number 11 now. Keenan and Leandro take the mat. Yep.
Man, you guys are in for a treat.
Yep. Keenan in the white, Leandro in the black. So here we go.
Only 30 seconds left to go. Keenan's got to do something here. Although, I mean, it's hard to say that Leandro Lowe has done enough to warrant a ref's decision.
He needs something like this, though.
Yep. Look, goes all the way over. Oh, doesn't get the head in there, though. And that's going to be time, but that might be enough to at least get him the ref's decision. I don't think it's going to give him any type of advantage. And if Keenan takes it, that's a huge, huge upset.
Yeah, but it's ref's decision here, so unanimous for Lowe. I think he was just busier offensively
early.
Yes, so I think it's fair to say, and you know, Keenan will probably agree that Leandro is his boogeyman. It's like he has one win against Leandro all the way back, like in the annals of history, like years and years ago. And he's never been able to repeat that success. Because Leandro is such a smart competitor. You know, he's not known as a technician like Keenan is. He's not known as some amazing innovator like Keenan is. But he knows how to win. And that's exactly what he did. Once again, he went out there, he does what Leandro Lowe does so well. So that was the end of Keenan's World Championship dream. And it turned out that Keenan actually got hurt in that match as well. And he couldn't go on to do the weight class. So something of a disappointing end for Keenan, you know, given, like we said, all the expectations, all the hype around him going into the tournament.
The way that Keenan's 2019 ended, you know, kind of a disappointment, he didn't get to come back and have more competitions. Do you think that informed his decision to open the gym, to open Legion, to try to go down a new path in life?
You know, Keenan's the kind of guy, he doesn't sit around, he doesn't rest on his laurels, and he would have taken that energy that he otherwise would have channeled into his competition career. And he has to have an outlet for that, right? And the result is the Legion American Jiu-Jitsu gym that he opened in San Diego.
Well, this is it. This is Legion
American Jiu-Jitsu. This is the embodiment of my kind of recent vision, I guess.
Yeah.
The main representation of American Jiu-Jitsu is like that America is a melting pot of cultures and ideas and opinions, and everything is supposed to be accepted. Even though some of it is not accepted, like the general emphasis of what I think of as America is like acceptance and like letting everyone be themselves.
Go outside and check it out?
Yeah, let's go.
You've been through a bunch of different gyms, and now you're teaching at your own gym. Are you sort of taking bits and pieces from everywhere, and what worked, what you thought didn't work?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, you'd be surprised, but there's a lot smaller number of things that did work than didn't work, you know, when it comes to the gym. And I guess I have kind of taken a little bit of everything.
If you and your partner want to continue into a second round, you both just have to agree on it, okay?
Like Keenan does, you know, when he goes after something, he invests so much time and energy into making it a success.
My jiu-jitsu is taking on a new role now because I'm influencing others, which is also another reason that I want to open up my game. I don't want my students just playing lapel guard.
So last week we were talking about all the different knee cut grips you can use. We went through the deep collar grip position here, working the knee cut like this.
The last 3 weeks we went from butterfly guard, then we worked through the knee cut and all the different grips you can use to knee cut. And then we've transitioned to mount control. Eventually from mount control, we're gonna work into submission. So either arm locks or chokes or something of that nature. So it's a sweep into a pass, into a control position, into a submission. So that's a full jiu-jitsu sequence.
All right, let's do it. 3, 2, 1.
This is the last one, guys.
I teach a lot of what I would want myself to have learned coming up through the ranks. I feel like that there's a lot missing in most people's jiu-jitsu journey, especially from like white belt to purple belt. A lot of ideas and techniques that should be applied that maybe aren't just not really taught elsewhere. So that's been a fun experience as well, kind of learning like what works for my students and what works for me at the same time, like what I would have wanted to learn. So yeah, it's been a fun experience and it's going great.
Yeah, we went 1, 2, 3, 4.
The whole reason any of this exists is because I have a very clear vision. Eventually, we'll have a very successful competition team as well, and all of it will be kind of vertically integrated under this roof with the websites I operate, and I'll try and expand those in different ways to also support the same final goal. So all these moving parts are eventually going to work together in a really cohesive way, and that would be the end goal.
Where do you think the ceiling is for Keenan?
I think we're all excited to see what the future is for Keenan's team. I think the future is bright, but it's very unclear as to exactly how that will translate into success in competition and so on, because man, he's up against it. It's one guy with one room of however many athletes against established teams with worldwide networks, with dozens, if not hundreds of gyms all across the world. That's no easy task, but Keenan likes a challenge, right?
Setting up the collar choke. There it is, Keenan Cornelius, 2018 European champion.
Keenan up 2 points to 0. Meregali trying to find a submission. Keenan Cornelius is gonna take this one. And the crowd is going crazy.
They are. That is a very big win for Keenan.
Jiu-jitsu's brought me so much in my life. It's allowed me to like have an actual career that provides for me in a way that I would never thought it would. And now it's like growing into so much more and like owning different businesses and like all these connections with different people. It's set me up in the future for not even having to compete if I didn't want to. So I do it for fun now, for sure. And I think that's the way to like do better also, is not stress about it as much. Jiu-jitsu can be less fun when it's connected to your livelihood. I really enjoy the process of like discovering new techniques and discovering new routes to solve problems that have grown. I feel like now it's more about that for me, like the learning process and trying to experiment with new things. Jiu-jitsu is very fun, and the reason it's fun is because you're not contained to like a specific thing, and I think competition can kind of contain you in something that's working for you. If you're just doing your thing and representing your technique well, I think that's really what it's about.